Hello everyone! I always like doing those different voices. I feel like I need to like change them sometimes. Like, hello everyone. Hello everyone. Hello everyone. Like I should do like different ones based on when people are joining. However, when you join, say hello. Let me know where you're tuning in from. And if you're watching the replay, #replay. I always love knowing who's on. If you haven't met me before, my name is Colleen Gallagher. And I believe that all of social media is a tool for connectivity. And so that's why whenever you join, even if it's not the replay, I always love just having you say hello. So I know who's here. I can welcome you into my world so we can co-create together. And so today is day 11 out of the 31 day lives that I'm doing in the month of October of 2020 because of my third book that I'm launching, An Uncompromised Life. And that book is about a story in my life where I compromised my character for love. And I pretended that I didn't have needs or desires, and I co-created a unhealthy relationship where I brought out my spiritual codependency, and it co-created a narcissistic relationship with them. And so today's topic that we're talking about is all about language. And so in these lives, what I want to share with you is 31 ways that I broke my heart. And from the 31 ways that I broke my heart, 31 ways that I ended up creating an amazing love story. And so the one that I really want to talk about today is language. So when I was in corporate, and I think a lot of you may be able to relate to this whenever in your life, I remember that I would wake up and, hey, Veronica, yes, hey, Oscar. I remember that when I would have this language that was going in my head, and I would say things like, people suck, people are so negative, like, why is the world operating like this? People in the government are crazy. Like I would have like really, really negative things come out of my mouth about other people. Like where you can't find any good friends, there's no good people. And I would consistently say things like this, or I'd be like really angry at people like for small things. And like I wouldn't be able to move over it or move through it. And I remember this caused like probably a lot of fights with my friends. I know a lot of fights with my friends growing up, especially girlfriends. Like if someone was like 5 minutes late, I would be like so angry about 5 minutes late because I'd be like, how dare you? It's so disrespectful. Like I would like have these language as like my base minimum of communicating. And so in my book, An Uncompromised Life, I talk about taking responsibility for that we co-create this life, or that we like create our life by what we share, what we talk about. And so this was something that broke my heart in many ways in my life. Like by the words and the language that I was using, I created jobs I didn't want. I created friendships I didn't want. And this third book, I created a really, really unhealthy relationship because I wasn't using my language. I wasn't using the words of what I was really feeling inside because I didn't feel secure or safe in my own self to be able to use language that would empower me to actually create the life that I wanted to create. And in many ways, this broke my life, like broke my heart, whether it was in like this last relationship that I had, which is in my third book, An Uncompromised Life, whether it was the language that I had with being in a corporate job, whether it was the language that I had when friendships would fail, whether it was the language I had of just being like, I hate my life. Like, what do? I have anxiety. And I would have all of these things move through me. And like another example of this, I would have a constant place of language saying like, I have anxiety, I suffer from anxiety, when really anxiety is just a frequency, it's just emotion. So a more expanded way, instead of breaking your own heart of like, I suffer from anxiety or I have anxiety, would be to start sharing, I'm experiencing feelings of anxiety, I'm moving through feelings of fear, I'm moving through feelings of uncertainty. And when you're saying it in a different way, you allow yourself to go from heartbreak into a love story. You allow yourself to stop suffering and instead just move through the emotions that are passing through you. And that's really emotions, energy and motion that's just coming through you. And the more that you can start to understand what the thoughts that you're having and the language that you're communicating consistently, the more you're going to understand why your heart is being broken and how you can really transition it into a love story at a greater capacity. And so I wanted to share that with each of you here. Hey, Jose, that whatever language you're using today, today's day 11 out of the 31 days, is that a way that you are breaking your own heart, or the way that your heart could be breaking, is just simply the language you're using. How do you speak about other people? How do you speak about yourself? How do you speak about the inner conflict that's going through you and your body? And from that space of understanding those language patterns, there's something called neuro-linguistic programming, which is something that I've studied a lot and used a lot in marketing, and there's more things to it. But once you start to understand this language of what is the pain you're feeling, what are your desires that you're running from, what are your dreams that you feel like you can't communicate because out of fear or rejection or not being accepted or like leaving everything you've known behind. Like, what is that language that's consistently happening in you that is what you really desire? Or are you speaking of language of things that you actually really don't want? Like, what are you doing more of? Speaking of what you don't have and what you don't want, or speaking of what you do want? And even that is going to totally transform the heartbreak that you're experiencing into the love stories, into the miracles, into the synchronicities. And that transition can happen very quickly for you. It's just, how committed are you to moving out of where you are into moving where you want to go? And so anyway, when you join this live, I just want to make sure and you share it on any platform. You get entered in at the end of the month to win a drawing. So that drawing, you'll get my first book, Live Your Truth, my third book, An Uncompromised Life, signed with a note from me. You get my Oracle deck, and the first person we pull, you get 2 one-on-one calls with me. The second and third person you get 1 call with me. And then when you read this, or you're on this and you want to go deeper into understanding this power of language, like how do we really communicate? How do we really express ourselves in a way that will start allowing us to create what it is we do want, which is an uncompromised life, to our soul, to our truest desires, to our deepest depth. When we transition that would be my book that I would suggest you pre-order, An Uncompromised Life. So we're in the pre-order right now. All you have to do is message me Uncompromised. I'll give you the link so you can order the book. The second thing that I highly recommend is when you're listening to this and you want to be in an environment of people that are practicing what it means to live an uncompromised life, practicing what it means to express who you really are, message me community, and I'll get you in the free community. And the third thing is that for the month of October, if you're someone who's listening to this and you desire to have a mentor, you desire to have someone coach you, or desire to have someone guide you to move through these different emotions or feelings or frequencies going through you, so you can understand what it means to tap into your soul, what it means to tap into uncompromising who you really are. Really tap into that deepest desire of what is the language you want to be focusing on, to be creating, to be curating where you're going. Message me, because for October we have a special deal for 4 one-on-one calls with me through the end of the year. So just message me, like mentor, and we'll get you the details for that. And I just want to let you know, I always go so close for this. When you're watching this, you are so close to your heartbreak being done. You're so close to being done with suffering. And you are absolutely so close to falling in love. You deserve to fall in love with life. You are worthy to fall in love with life. And always remember that this is just a choice away from you. So I'm excited for you to share this, to message me to pre-order the book, or to be working one-on-one together. Sending you so much love on this infinite day of 11 of October in 2020. I almost said 2021. Where was I going? And remember, for the rest of October, I go live every single day on my Instagram, so feel free to join me.